This might be one of the worst Game Guru games you'll ever see, and I made it. So now I'm going to play through it and explain why I made it and how. So this is Valley of the Dead. It's my entry into a level design competition run by my friend Duke and Kook, otherwise known as DK Productions, and he hosted a kind of a parody comedy competition for Game Guru users to create the shittest level we could. And I actually ended up making a 3-level game, but that's besides the point. So yeah, this is my deliberately cliche title, Valley of the Dead, and as we get into it, you'll see, yeah, it's pretty bad, but deliberately so. I took a lot of inspiration from some of the awful Steam games that are made with Game Guru. So as you can see, here we are, title screen, very little effort put in there. I just grabbed the most amateur font I could. I tried to put myself in the shoes of some of the developers you find on Steam who've put stuff out with Game Guru with like no effort. So yeah, and also made sure to save the title screen in like JPEG, like really highly compressed JPEG, so that you get all this terrible blocky compression, so it looks even worse. So yeah, let's get started. As I say, it's a 3-level game. The actual rules of the competition said it was only supposed to be 1 level, but yeah, I sort of forgot that. They still accepted my entry though, so I guess it was still fine.
No. My car is broken down. Maybe if I can walk to the next village, somebody will help me.
Okay, so as you heard, yeah, text-to-speech, yep, we're going down that route, because, yeah, that's pretty much a hallmark of these rubbish Game Guru games. No effort to hire voice actors or anything. And I thought I'd hit the player hard straight away with a really low-quality asset. This is a car from Dark Matter, which is a model pack that was designed to maybe not come with, but to support Dark Basic back in the early 2000s. So I actually have a copy of Dark Basic somewhere on in my library, and yeah, it came with Dark Matter. So I loaded that up for the first time in about 15 years and took a look at these assets. And actually, this car was too high res initially, so I actually lowered the resolution of it even further. Literally, I mean, that's like a 128 by 128 texture. It's so blocky and awful. And also, I deliberately scaled it down slightly, so it's like, I mean, this car is like just a little bit too small, like it's a clown car basically. So yeah, and also I made sure to place the smoke decal coming out of the floor, not the car. So anyway, that's our tiny little car that's broken down, and so now it's time to make our way through this very generic looking valley. I did what most first time Game Guru developers do and just literally grabbed the terrain brushes and made some extremely jagged and obvious looking cliffs. I almost wish I'd just set them to a flat height and just literally drawn some really basic outlines, but yeah, even that chimed wrong with me, so I just had to kind of round them off a little bit. But I tried to pick the most lurid form of grass I could as well, so this grass is like not subtle at all. It's yeah, just almost luminescent for some reason. So we're just coming up on our first encounter.
You there, over here. Come quickly, I need your help.
And again, more text-to-speech voices. So who's this chap? Let's see.
What is it?
It's my father. He's a priest in the village church. He keeps muttering about God having special plans for him, and how his congregation is about to grow. I would normally have said he's just a mad old fool, but last night I saw figures moving in the graveyard. I dare not go in, but I need someone to warn the rest of the village. If you can get my father's key, you can travel to the village and alert my friends. I'll keep watch here in case I seeing anything else moving.
Alright, I'll do what I can.
So obviously, yeah, there's some deliberate grammar mistakes in the text-to-speech software to add a bit of extra humour, but also, yeah, I mean, as anyone who's used Game Guru knows, it's quite difficult to get characters to sit down, so yeah, this is a bit of a play on that. And also I just used the most random chair I could. I spent a lot of time also misplacing assets as well, so obviously if you had any sort of interest in your game at all, you would make sure that these wall pieces were connected together, but I just threw them down as best I could and deliberately overlapped them as well. I mean, it's supposed to be an awful game. I did the same with these gravestones as well. I literally just scattered them wherever I could and tried to get them overlapping. And this tree as well that's hovering about a foot off the ground for some reason, yeah, that's kind of deliberate. And then the terrain painting as well. I just left this random sort of stamp where I'd sort of painted some different terrains on a random patch of ground. So yeah, it's all supposed to give off the impression that it's very hastily put together, which, to be fair, it was. It was very hastily put together. Okay, so yeah, our first enemy, the zombie. Yes, it is a zombie game, if you couldn't already tell. And I don't know if you heard, but there's like a gun reload sound effect whenever you draw the spade, which makes no sense at all, but I just thought that was funny. Lock and load my spade. Also find it weird, and this is not a deliberate thing, but I find it weird that you can headshot zombies with a spade.
What the hell was that? I better warn the Villiage.
Oh yeah, and there's an ongoing joke about the text-to-speech software not being able to spell the word village, or rather the person who's written the text to go into that not being able to spell the word village. So I think it's called Village, Villiage, Village. Yeah, I just played around with every pronunciation I could. And then I thought I'd do what most amateur Game Guru developers do and just not flesh out the end of the level, so it literally just ends with some bare terrain, which is, yeah, pretty standard fare for some of these awful games that are allowed on Steam. Game Guru gets a bad rep for being rubbish, and it certainly is difficult to use, but Steam also needs to take its share of responsibility for letting some of these awful games go up in the first place. So here we are, level 2, and yeah, I just decided what's the most mismatched skybox and ambience combination I could do. And also I didn't set the player start marker to have the weapon from the previous level, so I thought, yeah, let's make the player pick it up again. There we go, reload, lock and load. Okay, so yes, I put in this prompt here for your objectives. Again, it's got to be Comic Sans. As I said, it's supposed to be a shitty game, it's a piss take. But I also, again, made sure to save it with terrible JPEG compression, and I deliberately offset it so you can't even read all the objectives. Depending on the screen resolution you play this at, you may actually be able to read them all, I guess, if you're playing in 4K or something, but me on 1080, yeah, you can't see it. And yes, that was deliberate.
This must be the Villiage. I better be careful.
So yeah, it certainly is the Villiage. And just like all Game Guru games, well, not all of them obviously, but a lot of them on Steam, yeah, it's just the same enemy type over and over again. It's literally the same building, just clone stamped to make this village, supposedly. I even increased the volume of the heartbeat sound effect, the annoying heartbeat that everyone hates.
My car is broken down. Maybe if I can walk to the next village, somebody will help me.
Oh yeah, and that's also a running joke as well. The sound effect from the very opening of the game keeps playing. It's kind of like, the idea is that the developer didn't start a new map, he just deleted everything from the first map to make level 2, but he didn't delete everything, he forgot, so he left a few like sound markers and triggers in place, so stuff will come back a few times. There was also some health hidden in that building, just some bananas in there. I know that when this was played on the live stream as part of the competition judging, the guy who played it didn't actually spot those, but they are there. But yeah, classic Game Guru, you can actually heal more than 100%. You can heal up to, well, it's limitless actually. I think you can pick up about 650 health in this game. Right, so I think that's all of the zombies dealt with. More health. And then just coming up, we've got a character that's built in the character creator software, and I decided that this was an important character, so I was going to voice act the lines, but I wanted to make it as bad as the worst voice acting I've heard in any Game Guru or FPSC game, so I deliberately read it like I was reading from a script, like I was really not interested, not able to put any intonation into it at all, like I'm the worst voice actor ever, and I deliberately distorted the audio so that it sounds really low quality, and I saved it in a low bit rate audio file so that it just sounds terrible. Basically, it sounds like something that someone's recorded, like not even into their phone, into something even worse than their phone.
Halt, who goes there? Where are the zombies? You must have killed them. Thank you. You have saved my village. But now you must be looking for the priest who summoned them. His name is Dr. Carver. He runs an asylum on the edge of town. Come inside, I can give you a weapon.
So yeah, there's another running joke there that the developer can't spell the word asylum, so so the voice actor reads it wrong as well because it's written wrong in the script. And astute members of the Game Guru community may recognise the face of this NPC. I mean, the shading on it's awful, but it's our beloved creator, Lee Bamber, who is responsible for making Game Guru and his latest product, Game Guru Max. And it is possible to kill him, but as a mark of respect, I think we'll just leave him be. For now, anyway. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of this level. Levels are very short, and I deliberately made them short and shit, and also made the terrain tear there as well. Oh yeah, and I made that objective pop up again. That was like, what can I do to make it look like the developer hasn't like played his level very much, and he's just left stuff in there from when he's been building other stuff. So that's what that prompt used to say, but of course it's at the beginning of the end of the level now. So yeah. Oh, and I left in some bits from level 1. I left in the church and the walls and stuff. So again, it's all giving that impression that he just didn't delete everything. He just kind of, yeah, drew over the top.
Where am I? I must have fallen asleep on the way to the Assium. This place gives me the crepes.
This place gives me the crepes. Okay, so we now have another weapon. We've got our reloadable spade, but we've now also got a shotgun. So just a quick word on the music, if you can hear that. If you're listening on headphones, you'll be able to hear that it's only coming out of the left. So yeah, again, that was a deliberate thing. And there is actually no freegamemusic.com, but I added a watermark to this piece of music I found. So it's like the developer's just stolen it off some website. And now we're taking JPEG compression to its absolute limits, and this is almost unreadable. Again, copious use of Comic Sans there. Objectives, spelt wrong. Explore the Assium, again, can't spell the word asylum. Kill all the zombies. Find and kill Dr. Carver. Survive! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, 1, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So, anyway. I knew that I wanted the game to end in an asylum because, as I'm sure you've seen this as well, so many of the worst Game Guru games, the worst things on Steam, are using these stock assets that come with Game Guru. I wanted to use as much stock content as possible, but I've just seen these corridors.
Oh no, my car is broken down. Maybe if I can walk to the next village, somebody will help me.
So there's that sound effect again from the beginning of the game. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to use these assets, the stock assets, as much as possible, but also like not even decorate the rooms, like make it as low effort as possible. And also I didn't want to line up the assets as well. These little corridor sections are their own like pieces that you're supposed to kind of snap together, and you can press the B key in the editor to make them snap, but the idea was this developer who's made this game doesn't know about that, so he's just placed them down as best he can, and that's why you've got all these random gaps just between pieces, and there's even pieces that like overlap and ones that sort of slightly off askew, and this one's raised in height as well. So yeah, it's all just meant to be put together as if he doesn't know what he's doing. And then I thought it was important to just have something completely random, so here's some assets from the cartoon pack, including an explodable rabbit. Oh, and annoyingly that's dealt me some damage, so we're going to have that horrible loud heartbeat now for a little bit. But yeah, so And the skybox as well, I deliberately misaligned all of the skybox textures. So it's like this guy's tried to put his custom skybox in, but he just doesn't know what he's doing, so it's all out of sync. And as we'll see later...
I need a key.
Oh yeah, looks like we need a key. As we'll see later, there's another joke to do with that skybox. So let's just go and find the key. So, as usual, no effort. Literally just the key is on the floor. You haven't got to do anything, you just got to find it. Sorry about the heartbeat. Shouldn't have blown up that rabbit. This is a gate asset that's supposed to go in like an outdoor scenario, but I deliberately distorted it and stretched it so it looks crap. If I open it, you'll see that it does something very strange when it animates. There we go, let's take some health. Right, that heartbeat's gone. So yeah, it's just awful. Oh, and there was a recurring thing with this like altar piece. This popped up in that house in the village and also in the church. I wanted to make out that the developer didn't actually know that there were tables in Game Guru that actually came with furniture, and so whenever he needed a flat surface for anything to put weapons or keys or whatever on, he would just use this same altar model again and again, because like he hasn't even scanned through all of the library to see if it's, you know, got chairs and things and tables. So we just had a gate that had a little sound effect that said, looks like I need a key. And the idea with this one is there's 3 locked doors, so he's placed the same sound zone 3 times, and so when you walk into it you get the same message thrice.
Looks like I need a key.
It is in fact just one sound effect, but it's just been made to sound like 3. So I picked up a key earlier. I've been testing it, so I knew that the key was over there, but I know that during the stream Mipastu, who is playing it, was struggling to find the key, so he was backtracking, but yeah, it was just in that room the whole time. Again, no effort, literally just on the floor. And this opens one of the doors. I love using this door asset as well because A, it clips through these walls, and this is nothing that I've done, this is just generally the quality of the asset that comes with Game Guru. And also, take a look at the handles like really closely on the next door that we open. You'll find that the mesh actually distorts as the handles open. I don't know how that got through QA, but yeah. Anyway, so there is actually a door that just leads you to the outside of the level, so if you wanted to, you could literally just walk away from the asylum altogether. And there's those mismatched skybox textures. And then I thought, well, okay, so he's tried to make his own skybox and it's gone wrong, but maybe just one of the images he completely forgot. So I just put in this random watermark of like, oh, missing image. So yeah, his skybox is even worse than imagined. So this is a key find, obviously a classic staple of FPSC and Game Guru games, and the first key is hidden behind this toilet. I don't know why there's a portaloo in the middle of an asylum, but I just figured he came across this asset and just thought, yeah, I'm having that. I've got to have that in my game. And now we're actually coming up on... Oh, hang on, let's just take a look at these handles for a sec. So watch the bit between the window pane and the kind of the edge of the door. Look how it distorts. The texture distorts. Anyway, and that's not my doing. I said that literally ships with Game Guru. And this is another thing that is not my doing. I know that there was some comment in this sort of chat that went along with the live stream that I'd altered the shader to make this look awful. No, this piece actually is like this in Game Guru right now. You can add it yourself. This is, I think, the long ward, and yeah, I don't know what they've done to it, but for some reason it's ridiculously bright, and I do not know why. So, pretty generic gameplay, just shooting some zombies. And because it wasn't designed to be as bright as this, I mean, I just dropped in this ward because I wanted a different room to shoot through, and the joke in this room is supposed to be the comically large key that you're supposed to pick up. All the others have been tiny, and then you pick up this enormous one here, which is obviously way too big for you to even carry. But you can't even see it very well because this asset, for some reason, has some problem with its shader, and it's like glowing. I don't know why. So like I said, I didn't add that. That is literally a Game Guru thing. So whenever I came across an error with Game Guru, I left it in. So let's go through to our boss fight, as it were. and as you can see, misaligned pieces of corridor that are like clipping over each other, and yeah, they just look rubbish.
Bravo, well done. You truly have excelled yourself, finding my Assium. Asylum. Killing all my creatures. Yes, that's right. I'm Dr. Carver, and you fell for my trap. Now you too will converted into zombie, and you will serve me here, forever, here in my Assium.
Fuck's sake!
But we both know you're not keen to do that. Oh well, I guess I better just kill you. You're too close to the button that will self-destruct this facility anyway. Goodbye.
So I wanted a boss fight, but I wanted it to be the most rubbish boss fight ever. So I did actually use the same NPC from earlier that we saw in the town. This is the... it was supposed to be the Lee Bamber one, but for some reason his head didn't appear, and I don't know why that is. And also his t-shirt looks different. Okay, maybe this is a different NPC, but he has the same hat. Okay, anyway, so there's some issue, and again, there was no point in trying to fix that or figure out why it was. I like the fact that he doesn't have a head. It just goes to show that Game Guru has its issues. In an earlier version of this level, I had some guy with a mohawk, and I deliberately scaled him up, so it was like the developer thought, I know, what I need to make a boss fight is just a big enemy, so all he'd done was scale up a human like 300%. But actually, the human would come in at normal size, and you would shoot him, and as he would die, he would like ragdoll and become like Slender Man, and he would have like really tall legs and long arms, and he would just shoot up to be like 300% his size, but only in the vertical dimension, not in width, and then he would like ragdoll. It was so bizarre, but I decided to cut that and just have like a much more underwhelming boss fight. I felt that was funnier. But yeah, so this is our boss fight arena. Pretty basic. I did actually use the B key to get all these pieces aligned. I didn't want it to be that rubbish, but yeah, so pretty bare. And we have our final section of the game. He talked about a self-destruct button, so let's go and have a look at that, which is just down this corridor.
Oh no, my car is broken down. Maybe if I can walk to the next village, somebody can help me.
And there's time for one final repetition of that joke about the sound effect playing again. And here is our switch to self-destruct the facility, and as it turns out, the game as well, because if you press E, it will break the game. And there you go. So now we're back. So that was Valley of the Dead, my intentional worst game of all time. And I have to say, I had a blast putting it together. I was laughing the whole time. And hopefully you've enjoyed this little playthrough of it as well. And if you want to play it, there'll be a link in the description. I don't know why, because I don't know why you'd want to play it. It's awful. But yeah, that's up to you. Maybe next I'll put it on Steam, see if I can sell it for a few quid. That's really what the amateur Game Guru developer would do. They would try and get a few quid out of this. But yeah, I don't think I'm prepared to stoop to that level. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.